I'm going to be thinner by the time the show is over today.
Well, if it works on you, man, I can take it right around here. And we'll just get ready for that big beach time fun we're going to have.
All right. Well, we've got a good show lined up today. As a matter of fact, coming up on the show today, we are going to talk about that missing girl from Slidell. She's been found.
Yeah, she has been found, and police are saying this is a miracle. We're also going to be talking about the rap. As you can see, she is suddenly not Susan, but suddenly slender. Also, we'll introduce you to a local state trooper who has an iron will. He's competing in the upcoming Ironman competition for a very special reason. We'll tell you all about that as we continue. Of course, don't forget today trivia. Got tons of prizes along with you for the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. And, of course, toward the end of the show, the big unveiling, if you will, of the new Pamela Slender Matassa.
The more slender Pam.
Yeah, that's really...
I'm going to be a new woman. You know, after you have children and stuff, got to have a lot of weight.
Can you breathe in that? Because she pulled it pretty tight.
She pulled it pretty tight. I have on shorts and a top underneath this. I know it looks kind of, if you turn on your TV real quick.
Well, just turn around a second. Yeah, see? She is wrapped from head to toe.
I'm wrapped all mummified. Whoop, that doesn't look good.
And of course the microphone and IFB, but all right.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's give everybody the fast cast.
Let's do that. Why don't you?
This is what we can expect
from the mummy, straight from the mummy's mouth.
Straight from the mummy's mouth.
Mummy Matassa.
Here we
Go ahead, hit it.
We're gonna have lots of sunshine today, even in here in our 33 Today studios. Lots of sun. We're having a good time today. Going to be a little on the windy side, but today's high up to 82 degrees. And then as we move into the forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies come in. Overall, a mild evening for you with lows down to 58 degrees. And then for your forecast tomorrow, Tuesday, looking like this. Peaking sun and breezy, highs near 83, lows down to 60. And then as we turn to the extended outlook, this is what we can expect over the next couple of days. A chance of rain with mostly cloudy skies, but still we'll see those temperatures remain in the lower 80s for your daytime highs and in the lower 60s for your overnight lows. We'll show you what's coming weather-wise in the next few minutes. But now let's turn things over to Leo at the news desk with the headlines at this half hour. Leo?
All right, Pam, thank you very much. Topping the news for this Monday morning, authorities plan to question an 11-year-old Slidell girl who is now home after having been missing now for 2 weeks. 11-year-old Lisa Bruno was found yesterday when she stepped off a Greyhound bus in New Orleans. Slidell Police Chief Ben Morris calls her reappearance nothing short of a miracle. Bruno was recognized about noon yesterday when she arrived on a Greyhound bus from Lafayette with a bus ticket to Slidell. Police found her and quickly rushed the girl to a local hospital to be examined by doctors and reunited with her parents. The girl showed no signs of injury when she left the station. Her return puts to an end a massive search involving Slidell police, authorities in Mississippi, and the FBI. So far, police have released little information about possible suspects in this case. Back here in Baton Rouge, lawmakers head back to the state capitol today where the battle over pay for river pilots and the battle over telemarketers is heating up. A bill by Representative Ronnie Johns of Sulphur seeks to set up a board to determine how much pilots get paid. Business groups say that Louisiana's ports are uneconomical because of the high cost paid to riverboat pilots who guide foreign vessels into the state's ports. Also on the agenda today, 2 more bills to limit calls by telemarketers touting their products to customers. The House and Senate already have passed versions, but similar bills in committee being pushed by Senator Francis Heitmeyer, a Democrat from New Orleans, and Senator Foster Campbell, a Democrat from Elm Grove. At least one of the bills is expected to pass without any problems. In other news this morning, could former Governor Edwin Edwards be considering yet another run for office? Well, it's hard to tell. When asked at a music festival at Eunice over the weekend, though, the 73-year-old said, quote, "Never say never." Edwards was convicted last year in a riverboat casino corruption trial. Right now, he's a free man while his conviction's being appealed. And up in space, yes, the world's first space tourist has arrived at the International Space Station. The Russian Soyuz space capsule arrived at the space station early this morning. On board, American millionaire Dennis Tito. He's earned the nickname Space Tourist for his $20 million ride to space. Tito and the 2 Russian crew members on board blasted off Saturday morning. In the meantime, NASA's expressing a lot of concern about Tito's trip, saying the millionaire is not qualified to be on the space station and could run into a number of safety issues. And let's look at this morning's headlines. Now let's take a look at the forecast with Pam. Pam, you ready?
I am Leo, and I may have this rain poncho on, but this is what the forecast calls for today. Lots of sunshine, and this is why. As we take a look at the national satellite picture, you can see that there is a system that's moving through here going to cause us to have a little bit of rain, but not today. So what is the forecast going to look like? Let's get a look. I know these guys are enjoying taking a look at me all wrapped up in mummified as opposed to going ahead and taking a look at the temperatures today. But this is what it's going to look like. The temperature map across the country, as you can see, somewhat moderating. 99 is the daytime high in Phoenix. So they're obviously the hot spot across the country. 82 in Dallas, 78 in New Orleans, and 81 for a temperature high in Miami for today. And then on Tuesday, the temperatures are going to remain pretty much the same. So what's the forecast like today here at home? Here's what it looks like. It's going to call for lots of sunshine today, a little on the windy side. Still, we're expecting those daytime highs around 82 degrees and evening lows tonight down to 58. Partly cloudy skies move into the picture this evening. We will see some peaking sun tomorrow as well. Breezy overall. Daytime highs sticking around 83 degrees with overnight lows down to 60. Now, as we peek ahead to the extended forecast for the next couple of days, we will have a chance of rain. That'll be about 50% or so, possibly greater. We'll give you that later on. Mostly cloudy skies, though, for the next couple of days. Highs will remain around 83 and lows down to 63. And that is a look at your forecast at this time. As far as the traffic goes, there are no major accidents to report to you at this time, so you get the all clear if you're getting ready to head on out the door. Now, when we come back with more of 33 Today, we're going to introduce you to an amazing young state trooper who is going to amazing ends to help out a good cause, and his mother will tell you why when we come back.
For the latest news and weather, log on to NBC33TV.com.
33 Today is brought to you by the Office of Community Services. A child needs you. Call 342-HOME to help.
Back now at about 10 minutes after the hour, nice cool 58 degrees here in the capital city. There's one thing that we seem to be plagued with here in South Louisiana as well as in the rest of the country, but mostly it seems like we hear about it more here, and that is the plethora of victims of cancer. There's hardly any family here in South Louisiana that hasn't had somebody that's been affected by it in some way, some form or fashion of it, either friends or relatives. But there's a special way that one guy is sort of taking an approach to it, and that's a state trooper that we have with us today, Paul Toops. And thank you very much, Paul, for being here.
Go on.
Hey, it's good to see you. What you're doing is quite remarkable. You say your mother was diagnosed with cancer just, back in February?
Yes, sir, in February.
So what happened in that? I mean, describe that to me. How did you find out?
There's been a lot of things going on in our family in the last couple of years. Lost my father and stepfather. And she was kind of had some problems and went to the doctor and didn't want to just come up and say, I think I have it, until she finally was diagnosed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she got the test results, she asked me if I would go with her because she thinks it's going to be positive of breast cancer, that things didn't look good in that perspective. And she was nervous about it. And I'm the only child, so we pretty much only have each other left. So we went to the doctor, and it came up positive.
So I guess you learned at the same time she did.
Yeah, pretty much. She had a feeling, and she told me a couple days beforehand, and so I went with her to the doctor, and it came up positive of breast cancer.
So what's the prognosis?
She had the surgery, did a lumpectomy, and had it removed. They took lymph nodes out, and it came back negative. But they wanted to go ahead because it was progressive to do radiation and chemotherapy, which she's going through a chemo right now.
Well, so it looks, nowadays the great part about the research that we've had so far and the treatment that we've had is that cancer does not necessarily equate to death. There's so many different ways now to overcome it and to go into remission. But I have to say that probably yours is the most remarkable story that I've heard as far as trying to be able to help, because family and friends, when something like this happens, always feel so helpless to be able to help the person. And what is it you're going to do?
Well, I'm actively involved in the Louisiana State Troopers Association. I was president of the New Orleans chapter when I was assigned to New Orleans. And when my father passed away, I moved back to Baton Rouge. And we used to do the Children's Grant-A-Wish Foundation. And whenever I was looking into doing the Ironman, I had decided how could I contribute.
Now, the Ironman is a very rigorous triathlon in
Yes.
California, or
The World Championship is in Hawaii.
Hawaii,
And
right.
there's 3 qualifiers in the United States, and one of them is in California, New York, and Florida.
And for people who don't know what the Ironman is, what is it? What all do you have to do?
A 2.5-mile swim in the Pacific Ocean, a 112-mile bike throughout the hills of California, San Diego, California, and then run a marathon.
That's incredible. Okay, so Paul's been training for this as well. I think we have some video of when he was out there. By the way, when is that? There you go. All right, there we go. Now, when is the Ironman?
It is May 19th.
May 19th, like this May?
Yeah.
Like in 2 weeks?
In 2.5 weeks.
Okay. All right, so you've been biking for how far, just to get ready?
This past week, well, yesterday I biked for 95 miles. I drove to Laplace and back from Baton Rouge, and then I went, I did a race Saturday, and then I rode on Tuesdays and Thursdays with a group, and we do about 35 miles each day.
That is phenomenal. So what kind of diet do you take?
I eat about 7 times a day, small meals, kind of balanced between carbohydrates and protein, a lot more carbohydrates because of the endurance training.
Sure. Got the carbo loading thing going on.
Pretty much.
And how's this going to raise money for your mom?
What I have is, it's a 140-mile race total, and I'm asking for people that want to just do contributions, 10 cents a mile for a $14 donation. And if there's any companies or corporate sponsors, I'm wearing a shirt that I cycle and run with, that I'm putting all the corporate sponsors, and that's $250 for a corporate sponsor.
Boy, phenomenal. What a great way. So what's your mom think about this?
She thinks I'm crazy for doing all this training stuff, but she understands that, obviously, for my love for her.
Sure.
And hopefully it'll make a difference with the Breast Cancer Foundation, Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation.
Okay, so you're looking for sponsors between now and when do you leave for California?
I leave May 15th is when I fly out. I'm paying for the entire trip out of my own pocket. All donations go directly to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation.
Okay, our best to you and to your mother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's good to see you here.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we're going to be telling you about anxiety screening right after this.
You're watching 33 Today with Pam and Leo on NBC 33.
Hey, welcome back now to about 18 minutes after the hour. Nice, cool 58 degrees. And we've been checking on Pam periodically to make sure that she is still wrapped up and doing okay. She might have a little anxiety right now because it is wrapped so tightly. But speaking of anxiety, an anxiety screening is coming up. Dr. Robert Blanche joins us here from Summit Hospital. Good to see you. How you doing?
Fine,
All right, so now realistically and on the more serious side, what is the anxiety screening?
Well, this Wednesday is National Anxiety Screening Day, and across the country you can go to many of the area hospitals. And the Summit Hospital, we're offering this. You can come in and take some little tests. They're not performance tests. They're tests to determine whether or not you have one of the 5 types of anxiety disorders. There's panic disorder, there's claustrophobia and anxiety, which Pamela, I think, is having right now. Generalized anxiety disorder. And the most common of all anxiety disorders is social phobia. One of the most common of all psychiatric
Social
disorders.
phobia.
Social phobia.
Being afraid to go out in a crowd?
Afraid to go out in a crowd, afraid to public speaking. These persons are...
Well, now, most everybody I know would be afraid to get in front of a crowd and say anything.
And so many people with social anxiety disorder suffer silently. They just live their life avoiding social situations or situations where they feel they're being looked at by other people or where they're going to be scrutinized. They become very socially anxious and nervous and restless and avoidant of those things.
You know, almost afraid to ask. A little anxiety there. But what about, what kind of treatment would you go through for something like that? Do you force patients out into the mainstream to try to get them past that phobia?
Well, one thing's for sure, if you keep avoiding certain things, the anxiety sort of gets worse. So we do help people have to learn to face their fears, and they have to venture out and become more exposed to the things that would generate either a panic attack or a very anxious feeling state, which they would want to avoid that. So you have to get them to go out towards the event or the activity which they fear and desensitize them. That's a natural technique where you teach them anxiety reduction through deep breathing exercises. And then there's medication treatment, which is very effective as well for these disorders.
But you know, doctor, I could see where unless you just lasso the client, that they may avoid even coming to see you to talk about this because they know that that's what you're going to do, push them out there.
I have treated many a person who literally had not left their house for years. They live in their house. They become what we call housebound because that's their zone of comfort. If they step outside of it, they become very anxious or panicky, and they're just not willing to do that. So this is a condition that is the most common of all psychic disorder. That's very treatable, yet many persons just will not seek treatment because they think they can just deal with it, because they live their life avoiding things that cause them anxiety, which is really quite a price because they have to live a very narrow lifestyle and can't enjoy their lives.
It's incredible. Okay, so as far as screening goes, how do you screen somebody for anxiety?
Well, actually, they're just different tests that rate your experience of possible symptoms of anxiety. And if you have so many symptoms of such severity, then you can diagnose an anxiety disorder and then refer to either medication treatment or to psychotherapy. There are a number of very good talking therapies or psychotherapy which can effectively reduce the anxiety disorder.
And you're going to be doing that this Wednesday?
This Wednesday, I'll be speaking at 6 o'clock, Classroom 1 at Summit, on anxiety disorders, the diagnosis and treatment of any of the conditions associated with anxiety disorder.
And where is Summit?
Summit Hospital is out there on O'Neill Lane, right off of O'Neill Lane off the interstate. The old Columbia Hospital is now called Summit Hospital.
Okay, good deal. And that's going to be at 6 p.m.?
6 o'clock, Wednesday evening. Yes, sir.
And it's free?
It's free of charge. And National Anxiety Screening Day is all day, and you just have to call the hospital and arrange for an appointment.
Of course, that'd be an incredible step out for a person to just come to this on their own, of their own volition.
Well, it's usually family members lassoing them in, bringing them in.
I see. Okay, so that's how that works. I just wondered about that. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Dr. Robert Blanche from Summit Hospital, thanks for being here. More information on that, give us a call right here. We'll point you in the right direction. Otherwise, 6 p.m. this Wednesday, Summit Hospital there on O'Neill. Up next, we're back to see how the mummy's doing. Mummy Matassa right after this.
That's right, the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival is happening.
Yes, but the real thing happening is you. Look at this. So how's that feel? How do you feel right now?
Well, I'm having a hard time breathing.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm mummified under this, in case anybody missed. I'm completely wrapped in...
She's wrapped from head to toe.
In gauze bandages, and there's this minerals, secret minerals are in this.
Look at that. Ooh, what a leg. All right, and you're supposed to lose up to 10 inches in 1 hour like this?
That's what they tell me, 10 inches in 1 hour.
You got that much toxin in you, huh? So that's what this does. I mean, literally, it does supposed to extract the toxin.
And you see these little rubber boots I have on?
Yeah.
Well, this is how it works. I can't move very well. I can just lift my feet straight up. Anyway, all these toxins are dripping off into my feet, and we keep emptying these throughout the hour.
Yeah, let's strike a match and see what happens. Woof. Pam and effigy.
There you go.
Well, oh, someone's coming out.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, you just dripped on our carpet.
That's my toxins.
Look, it's bleaching. Just kidding. That's phenomenal.
So anyway, so this is a big thing that celebs do in Hollywood when they need to lose inches fast, like for a particular, shoot or something.
Now we know the secret. And you were just wrapped up in the hands and everything.
And this is in Baton Rouge.
Wow.
You can go and get this thing done to you.
Does it burn at all, or is there a sensation out of it?
There's no sensation except it's pretty tight.
It is pretty tight?
Yeah.
So you aren't breathing?
I'm wrapped all around.
That could be explained why you're turning blue right there. I thought maybe it was just your eyeshadow.
I'm completely wrapped. And I'm wrapped all around my waist and everything else. I have shorts on under this, by the way.
Okay.
Shorts and top. So anyway, I'm having a hard time breathing, but I'm trying to sit here like I'm okay.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Now, if you get dizzy, you got to let me know.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
No, we'll go, hey, she's getting dizzy. Hey, take her out. Now, we're going to come back in just a few minutes, and we'll unwrap you at the end of the show, right?
Right. They're going to take my measurements and see how many inches that I lost.
Cool. All right.
But anyway, it's time for us to do today's trivia.
It sure is.
And we are going to give away 2 tickets to the Jazz and Heritage Festival, New Orleans Jazz.
Those are like gold, and it's going on right now. Boy, New Orleans is rocking over the weekend, going to be rocking this coming weekend as well, and we're going to be down there for that. Yeah, here's the question for you. On this date, the last episode of The Cosby Show aired right here on NBC. What was the year? Was it 1988? Was it 1989? Was it 1990, or was it 91? Give us a call, 768-9233. 768-9233, or if you just want to talk to the mummy, give us a call, 768-9233. What's the answer to the question? Good morning, do you know?
D.
Pardon?
D.
What year is that?
1991.
Sorry, but thank you. All right, just want to clarify, we had that answer there.
I know,
okay.
Sometimes it's hard to hear.
It is. 1988, 89, or 90 now? 88, 89, or 90? 768-9233. Is that enough numbers for you?
Starting to see stars. No, I'm just...
You're getting pale.
Yeah, well...
All right, good morning. Do you know?
1988.
No, but that's a good guess. Thank you. All right, now we're down to 89 or 90. Was it 89 or 90 was the last episode of The Cosby Show here on NBC? 768-9233. Or you can just talk to
I know
me.
the answer because it's the year I graduated from high school.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool deal. All right, good morning. Do you know?
1990.
No, but that's a good guess, too. Thank you. You know, we've got this thing bracketed so closely that...
It's hard to get that.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, now we pretty much should know what the answer is. All right. Good morning. Do you know?
1989.
Absolutely. All right. I know this was a guess, right?
Yes.
Who is
Okay.
Melissa.
Hey, Melissa, where are you calling us from?
Baton Rouge.
From Baton Rouge.
Hey, what do you think about our mummy here?
Does it work?
Well, we're going
I
to
don't
find
know. We're going
out.
to find out by the end of the show.
Okay.
But have you heard about people getting wrapped like that before?
I've heard it over the radio before.
I know. I've
Really?
heard a bunch of stuff about this, but I've never done it. And we wanted to see if this was really going to work. So we're going to find out.
The only rap I heard on the radio was some kind of song. Yeah. Yeah, that was the kind of rap I was thinking of. Hey, hang on the line. We'll get all this stuff to you, okay?
Okay.
I hope you like jazz.
I do.
Okay, well, guess what? Tickets going to you to New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
Okay.
All right, stick around. Up next, of course, we got local and national news. Plus, of course, we'll check back in with Mummy Matassa right after this.
This portion of 33 Today has been brought to you by Advanced Office Systems.
At Advanced Office Systems, our success begins and ends with the quality of our business relationships.
We depend on Advanced Office Systems for all of our copier and computer networking needs.
From copiers to faxes, computers, and networking support, Advanced Office Systems is the answer.
It's easy to recommend Advanced Office Systems. They're dedicated to their customers.
Advanced Office Systems. We put offices in great shape. Advanced Office Systems.
Welcome back to 33 Today with Pamela Matassa and Leo Honeycutt.
Well, welcome back now to about 33 minutes after the hour. Nice, cool, 58 degrees. And is she suddenly slender? We're going to find out in this half hour.
Yeah, we're going to unwrap me. Lloyd Berto from Body, Mind, Spirit is going to unwrap me. We're going to see if this thing really worked.
So you're still trying to breathe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes are turning kind of black there.
Yeah.
But listen, if you start to
I'm
lose
getting a little
consciousness,
pale.
let me know, okay?
I know, and they're like, well, why don't you stand up? But I can't quite get out of the
She
chair.
can't get out of the chair.
So I'll have to have Mr. Eddie Joe come over here and pry me out of this chair in a few minutes. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to unwrap me, see if this thing really works.
Good deal. Okay, well, it's really been interesting so far. Plus, of course, we're going to head back into the kitchen for the original problem, Mr. Food.
But before we get to all of that, let's go ahead and give you that fast-cast forecast for today. And this is what the weather is looking like. Lots of sunshine today. It's going to be a little on the windy side. We're expecting a daytime high of 82 degrees. And then our overnight low down to 58 for you this evening. And we do have a little cloud coverage that's moving into the picture tonight, but we will see some sun peeking through for your Tuesday forecast. Again, it's going to be on the breezy side with highs near 83 and lows down to 60. And for the extended outlook Wednesday through Friday, we do have a chance of rain. Mostly cloudy skies going to stick around, and the temperatures will remain pretty steady for the rest of the week. Highs near 83 and lows down to 63. When we come back with more of the show, I will give you a complete check of the weather as well as a look at accidents in the area. Now let's go over to Leo at the news desk with the latest headlines this half hour. Leo?
All right. Thank you very much there, Miss Rapp. All right, here's the news for you for this Monday. Authorities plan to question an 11-year-old Slidell girl who is now home after having been missing now for 2 weeks. 11-year-old Lisa Bruno was found yesterday when she stepped off a Greyhound bus in New Orleans. Slidell Police Chief Ben Morris calls her reappearance a miracle. Bruno was recognized about noon yesterday when she arrived on a Greyhound bus from Lafayette with a bus ticket to Slidell. Police found her and quickly rushed the girl to a local hospital. She was examined there by doctors and reunited with her parents. The girl showed no signs of injury when she left the station. Her return puts to an end a massive search involving Slidell police, authorities in Mississippi, and the FBI. And so far, police have released little information about possible suspects in this case. Back here in Baton Rouge, lawmakers head back to the state capitol today where the battle over pay for riverboat pilots and the battle over telemarketers is heating up. Looks like that a bill by Representative Ronnie Johns of Sulphur seeks to set up a board to determine just how much riverboat pilots get paid. Business groups say that Louisiana's ports are uneconomical because of the high cost paid to those pilots who guide foreign vessels into the state's ports. Also on the agenda today, 2 more bills to limit calls by telemarketers touting their products to customers. It looks like the House and Senate already have passed versions, but similar bills in committee being pushed by Senator Francis Heitmeyer, a Democrat from New Orleans, and Senator Foster Campbell, a Democrat from Elm Grove, seek to differ. At least one of the bills is expected to pass out with any problems. In other political news for you this morning, could former Governor Edmund Edwards be considering yet another run for office? It's hard to tell. When asked at a music festival in Eunice over the weekend, though, the 73-year-old said, quote, "Never say never." Edwards was convicted last year in a riverboat casino corruption trial. Right now he's a free man while his conviction is being appealed. And we now have the first space tourist. The world's first space tourist has arrived at the International Space Station. The Russian Soyuz space capsule arrived at the space station early this morning. On board, American millionaire Dennis Tito. He's earned the nickname Space Tourist for his $20 million ride to space. Tito and the 2 Russian crew members on board blasted off Saturday morning. In the meantime, NASA's not very happy with this. They're expressing a lot of concern about Tito's trip, saying that the millionaire is not qualified to be on the space station and could run into a number of safety issues. And that's a look at your news for you for this Monday morning. Now let's find out and see what kind of rap we got going with Pam. You okay now, right? Right? Okay?
I'm okay. Wouldn't it be nice to have that kind of money just to talk about throw away? Just
that, or else you could be wrapped and be like a Hollywood star.
That's right. We're going to do the cheaper version. We're not millionaires, but we're going to look like it by the time the end of the show is done today, huh?
There you go.
So if I can take a deep breath enough to do the weather for you today, this is what we're expecting weather-wise across the country. As you take a look at the maps right now, you can see that the temperatures are somewhat moderating with a high today, 99 degrees over in Phoenix, 82 in Dallas, 78 in New Orleans, and 81 for an expected daytime high in Miami. And then for Tuesday's forecast, do we have the temps for Tuesday? Well, they are similar to Monday's, and this is what we're going to have in the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for today. For your forecast, blue skies and lots of sunshine, and that's Leo singing right there in the background as well. It's going to be a windy day for you. Today's high up to 82 degrees, partly cloudy skies tonight with lows down to 58. Peaking sun with a little bit of breeze as well for you on Tuesday, 83 for the high and 60 for the low. Temperature staying pretty much the same for the rest of the week as well. We will have a chance of rain come into the picture on Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, highs near 83 and lows down to 63. As far as the traffic goes, no accidents to report to you at this time, so you get the all clear if you're getting ready to head on out the door. Well, we're going to take a look at why I'm all wrapped up when we come back with more of the show. And am I going to really lose some inches? Find out.
For the latest news and weather, log on to NBC33TV.com.
Back now about 41 minutes after the hour, 58 degrees, but you're a little bit cooler in here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now, what is, Lori Berto is with us now. What are you doing with this? What are you
She's
spraying?
basting me like a turkey.
When do we put her in the oven?
Well, actually, we have a sauna at the shop that you wouldn't be cool in. You
Right.
could get in there and get nice and warm.
But what are you spraying on her? What kind of...
This is just extra of the mineral solutions that we use that the bandages were soaked in to begin with. This is how you know that we're not dehydrating you. We're rehydrating you. That's why the inches won't come back when you drink a big glass of water.
I got you.
They stay off.
What is this all about? Tell us what this is all. Where did this come from?
Victoria Morton invented this about 30 years ago, basically for a health concept of her own. She wanted to be thinner, and she thought this would work, so she invented it for herself.
And by the way, Victoria was supposed to be with us this morning, but she had a medical emergency. She was unable to come.
Right.
But she was supposed to be the one basting me and mummifying me today.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So what does this do? This under pressure, it pushes the fat cells, or what?
The toxins are pulled out from between the fat cells, and that lets the fat cells be compressed. That's why you can get the inch loss without a weight loss.
No kidding.
No kidding.
So I know, Lori, that you have some pictures of you. Now, did you lose any weight? I mean, you went from a size 16 pant to a size 6 pant.
That's incredible.
And you had to have lost weight.
I lost about 15 pounds. Took about 3 months.
Okay, so this is the before.
That's the before.
Where am I? Right there.
And that's
Now, how many pounds are we talking about here?
174.
174. And then over here, this was how long? How long later?
That was right at 3 months later.
No kidding.
And I only lost 15 pounds, but I lost all those inches, and that was from the wrap. And I've kept them off for a year.
Wow.
I just do my maintenance wraps about every 6 to 8 weeks. And
That's all? Just every month and a half or so?
For your maintenance.
So how many of these do you have to get to you?
It depends on you and your goal. It depends on how much you want to lose. I, of course, did a lot of wraps, a whole lot of wraps.
Right.
But they make you feel so good. You know, you just feel like you can conquer the world after you just feel great. You'll see.
How much do these things cost? Generally?
Around $75 is the average cost in the Baton Rouge area.
To be wrapped for an hour?
To be wrapped for an hour.
Okay.
And you need to go like once a week until you get your desired?
At least once a week. You can come more often. It's very safe for you, or you can come every couple of weeks. We like to do once a week for at least the first 3 weeks to get you moving and everything. One thing about this is when you put the minerals in your body, it stops a lot of the cravings that your body has because it is mineral deficient.
What do you mean cravings? Like chocolate?
For Coca-Cola's chocolate? Yeah, that's a big one.
I'll let you know.
Maybe not with one wrap, but if we wrap you several times, all of a sudden you realize, I don't want a Coke anymore, or I don't want chocolate anymore. It's because your body is getting what it needs. That's why I was able to lose the weight, because I didn't have those cravings anymore.
Wow.
So you ate quite differently as well?
I just backed off what I was eating and didn't eat as much, but I pretty much ate what I wanted to,
now,
except for the chocolate.
What about do you need to exercise and eat better or something in order for this to work?
That's always a good thing to do. Drink lots of water, exercise, walking is a very good exercise to do for any kind of weight loss program. We don't recommend a particular weight loss program. We just say do what works for you.
There's me getting wrapped.
All right, this is what started this morning about, what, 5:15 or so? Y'all started, when did you start with this?
Yeah.
5:30?
5:30 or so.
Okay.
And then she started wrapping me and put those little boots on. Now that's where all the toxins drip.
Okay.
And she's been emptying these boots regularly, and when we come back on camera, I'll let her empty my boots so she can show everyone.
Whatever you do. Don't strike a match, anybody. Okay, so you wrap that pretty tightly. In fact, I was just noticing their hands are turning purple. Well, not really purple, but they're a healthy red.
Yeah, because this thing, they wrap you up and takes all the fat.
Okay.
There I was,
here's
mummified.
A little bit more. Get a little bit more mummified here. And so this really wicks that mineral water toward her, and then the toxins come out through the pores?
Right. The minerals are absorbed through the skin.
Right.
And they actually drip from the fingertips. You can see her fingertips, they're dripping. and the bottoms of her feet. That's why we put the bags and the boots on, to catch the toxins. As you can tell, her bandages are damp, but they're not dripping water.
Right, exactly.
That's what's being absorbed in her body.
Can we take the boot off and show everyone? Now, we've been doing this all throughout the morning. Can you get that, Mr. Joe? Wait a sec. Let's make sure they can get that so they can show on. Now, that gross water is the toxins from my body that's being released.
Okay. All right,
actually, it's self-tanner.
So that's why it's so dark.
A lot of self-tanner. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that's what she said. I haven't done that self-tanning thing in it.
And now, as far as the physical discomfort for you, it's just you just have a little trouble.
mummified. Feels like you're in a corset from your neck to your ankles. Pretty much the way it is.
If I'd known you were going to be sitting down, I wouldn't have wrapped you quite so tightly. We normally don't let you sit down in the...
Oh, no, that's okay. We want to get the best
So when they're wrapped for an hour, they stand up the whole time?
They stand up. We have them do light exercise. Sometimes we put Richard Simmons Sweating to the Oldies in, and they're moving around and dancing and doing a little exercise. It's really a lot of fun, especially if you come in with a good friend. You can act crazy together.
Doing the mummy wrap.
That's right. We're going to be running a special for Mother's Day for mothers and daughters to come in and do this together and have a good time.
Oh, that would be cool. You need to run that Steve Martin record about, remember the mummy?
Oh, yeah.
King Tut.
But yeah, walk like an Egyptian.
So you're at Mind, Body, Spirit.
Body, Mind, Spirit.
Body, Mind, Spirit. I keep saying it backwards, over at Bocage.
Bocage Village. We're on the second floor.
Right above Kivas.
Right above Kivas.
So you can stuff your face, go upstairs, and lose
get a wrap and lose it all.
Okay.
We've got a great partnership going.
We're going to see if she's down 10 inches in about another, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Okay? So we'll come back with Mr. Food and we'll be right back.
Right after Mr. Food.
Right after Mr. Food.
That's all right.
.33 Today is sponsored in part by Gulf Coast Office Products.
With the warmer weather on the way, we'll be looking for recipes that aren't going to have us in a hot kitchen all day. We want it easy. We still want our comfort taste. So, okay, this came from Patricia, a friend of mine at a TV studio, and it does it all, like this. In a skillet, we combine a can of ready-to-use chicken broth with a half stick of butter and a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper. Now we add 1.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts that we've cut into 1-inch chunks, and we cook it on a medium-high heat about 5 minutes until it's bubbly. We place 2 10-ounce packages of refrigerated biscuits evenly over the top. We reduce the heat to low, we cover it, and we cook it for 10 minutes. Then we sprinkle it with a half teaspoon of paprika and simmer it uncovered for another 10-12 minutes until the broth is slightly thickened. And that's it. Chicken and biscuits, or chicken and dumplings, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I told you it was easy. It's the perfect no-fuss shortcut. Everything's done in one pan. There's no heating up the kitchen. There's no long cooking with the warmer weather coming up. And there's no special brands needed either. You want to throw in some fresh sliced mushrooms, even heartier. Throw in some chopped parsley and serve it with some garden veggies. Wow, that's comfort. And if you'd like the recipe, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope marked Chicken and Biscuits to me, Mr. Food, right here at the station. We'll get it back to you for what everybody wants in minutes. I mean, down-home comfortable taste in a comfortable kitchen, and everybody's begging for the recipe? It's so good.
Okay, but was this so good? All right, well,
I've lost some inches so far.
I think you really have, and Lori just very quickly unwrapped her, and I mean, it was a lot of unwrapping to go.
Yeah, it was like all those gauze bandages.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to find out just how much Pamela lost right after this. And what's the
Mr. Food is sponsored in part by your neighborhood Associated Grocers Food Store.
Friendly service.
If you want more time for this,
and a little more time for this,
not to mention more of this,
we're just around the corner.
Your neighborhood Associated Food Stores.
Okay. Well, it looks
so
like we
far
have
I've
a suddenly slender, it's not Susan, Pamela.
Weight on both legs.
Weight on both legs? Now, Lori, let's tell everyone what we've done so far. I lost a ½ inch in my arm, an inch and a half in my waist,
No kidding.
an inch around the buttocks area. Didn't even get to finish measuring all that,
Okay.
which is what we were all about today.
Yep.
So
5/8 of an inch right here in this leg.
now that's where I could have stood
In the
to
thigh?
have lost all.
Okay.
Look,
All the inches.
Wow, look at that.
one leg.
All right, so I'm saying that this thing really works.
Well, it looks like that in one pass it certainly does, but Lori, how often do you have to do this to try to keep it off?
About every 6 to 8 weeks for maintenance.
6 to 8 weeks, so once
Every
every
2
month and a
months.
half or 2 months. Wow.
Once every 2 months, go in and get yourself a wrap.
How do you feel?
I feel great. Of course, it's kind of chilly in here.
Right.
Now, you said at the salon, or
We have a sauna, and
so you keep everybody warm.
Yeah, keep you warm.
But other than that, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty good. I give it a thumbs up. Now, the lady from Hollywood, she invented this 30 or so years ago, and the celebs do this regularly. So I feel like kind of like a superstar this morning.
Well, you already were, but you know, and apparently she hasn't lost a client yet, so it's not really anything to worry about as far as what kind of chemical or something that you're using to make the body do this.
It didn't even really smell or anything. And
It's
I'm
all
going to put
what?
this robe on. It didn't really smell. Smell bad or anything like that. I mean, I don't notice any smells of the thing. Oh, am I mic'd up?
Yeah. Okay. I'll just clip it right here.
So, it was a pretty harmless thing. Took only about an hour. She wrapped me, measured me, and then basted me and kept me warm the whole time. Lost a bunch of inches.
Yeah, we tried to get her to put you in the oven, but there she is.
But
Pretty
Mr.
tan.
Food was using it.
Yes, Mr. Food had it right there. Now this was just a mineral solution, right?
That's right. It's all minerals. It's nothing more than what you get in your table food, but because of there not being the minerals in the soil anymore,
Right.
You just don't get all the minerals from the food you eat. So this is just like a mineral supplement.
I see, and so it is absorbed through the skin into the body.
Right.
Wow, I didn't know we could wick it that much.
I bet why haven't we all been doing this for a long time?
Really, I guess so.
Get wrapped once a week.
And you feel pretty good?
I feel great. I mean, I don't feel any different than I did before. I mean, I feel better, and I feel a lot better knowing that I lost some inches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot, that's going to make my whole darn day.
Well, that'll be good.
I might be walking around in some spaghetti strap, kind of slender fitting outfit. No, I'm just kidding. But
So if you do this, if she did it every 2 weeks, it should be like thin as a rail in time for the beach, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be good.
All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow with a thinner Pam.
.33 Today is brought to you by the Office of Community Services. A child needs you. Call 342-HOME to help.